Good morning. I know it's 3:33 and I'm not going to wait for another hour and 11 minutes before I start. I've already been up, or I should say awake over 2 hours and up close to an hour already. Anyway, the title for today's 9/11 video is A Waking Dream with Liquid Time. Less than 2 hours after falling asleep, I was wide awake. Well, sort of. Can you be awake and still dreaming? That's what it seemed like as I went into the woods and field next to my paternal grandma's house to pick berries. But it was different. There were houses there now, but I could see the before and after picture at the same time. A panorama of pictures followed, some fast, some slow, and I was able to observe and feel for over an hour actual time. It was not until I went into the meditation room that I realized it was the 11th anniversary of 9/11. Was that a dream too? I have no idea what I'm going to end up sharing today because it seems like I've been up a half a day already. And I've covered decades of time in that period of time. Images from my boyhood into various stages of adulthood, even a couple of glimpses that seemed like they were in the future. I wish I could see who she was, but I wasn't alone. Felt nice. As I went into the field to pick berries, and I was still, I think, asleep then, I didn't see the berry bushes. And yet I could see, but they were like dried up. But what I saw was a tree that had like blackberries on it. I forget that there might actually be a tree that has like blackberries on it. I'm not sure in this moment what it's called. I think it came to me in the dream, but I don't remember it in this moment of time. And I went up and I picked one of them, and it was really large. And I handed it to one of the people in the house, in one of the houses that was there, and he didn't take it. And I don't know who he was, but that's about the time I believe I woke up and realized I was dreaming. I rolled over and I looked at the clock. It was 10 minutes after 1. The last time I had looked at the clock, it was between 11:30 and midnight. I don't know the exact time, but I know, boy, I've been awake over an hour since the Republic call ended, President's call, where they were going to be talking about the Naturalization and Immigration Act, and I was hoping they'd bring up my video, but they didn't. My videos, too, plural. Anyway, they didn't bring that up, and I was still awake over an hour after I signed off, almost 10:30, and I was still awake, as I said, between 11:30 and 12, and then awake again at 10 after 1. I rolled over to go back to sleep, but I didn't go back to sleep. It was like I was in an in-between place, as I described or as I mentioned in the blurb. It was like I was still in a dream space, an ethereal space that time was fluid. As I said, I was all over the place, from my boyhood into my future in this lifetime. And I also recalled during that space An Angel for May, which is a British dramatic movie made several years ago that I really like, about a little boy that fell through a wormhole from the 21st century back into the Second World War in England, in which he met a little girl named May. Beautiful movie. You ever get a chance to look it up and see it, I recommend it. An Angel for May is the title. But time was fluid in that dream, or in that movie, I should say, just as it was fluid in my dream. I was able to move back and forth between the present, the past, and a couple of times it appeared that I was moving into my future, because I could see myself, and I was at the age that I am now, but I had a partner that I considered beautiful, and she considered me beautiful. And that's the way it needs to be, or it won't happen. Anyway, as I went into the meditation room, it dawned on me that today is 9/11. For over an hour, as I was in this space, it didn't even crack my thought pattern, or whatever pattern that I was in, of the date. But when I went into the meditation room, I wasn't in there very long, and I was still sort of in that sort of semi-dream state, but more conscious than previously. Because now I had walked down the hall, well, actually I had gone to the bathroom, walked down the hall, got a drink of water, and then went into the meditation room. So I had some more activity to bring me more fully into the wake state. And I wondered, when 9/11 came to mind, how much of that was a dream. For those of you that have explored the 9/11 scenario, you know that some people say no planes hit the buildings on that day. It was just, what do they call it when they create images, holographic images, and it was just holograms that ran into the buildings? I know one video that I watched that showed the plane going in one side of the building and going all the way through the building. Is impossible for an aluminum plane to penetrate a steel building and come out the other side still semi-intact, with its nose semi-intact. That wouldn't happen in real life. But 9/11 was the beginning of the wake-up call for many people. It was when we began to realize that the government, all governments, lie to us. And we're going to get to the point where we realize that virtually all religions have lied to us too. Not that there isn't truth in some religion, not that there aren't spiritual realities. They couldn't get away with making it all a lie, but they certainly mixed up the truth with the lies. But what was real and what wasn't real in my dream? What is real and what isn't real in our lives? These are questions I pondered in the meditation room, and I'm still pondering them as I come to the computer and now sit before the camera. We are definitely in a time when we're being given the opportunity to reevaluate everything in our lives. And time does have more of a liquidity in this transition period, where if you take time to focus, take time to meditate, take time to be in silence and observe, you'll notice that the lines between past and present and future are somehow merging and melting into each other. That's what it felt like in the dream, like everything was melting into each other. And yet I could see this and that. I could see here and there, now and then. I could see it all. I could observe it in the same moment. Can we all do that? I bet we can. Because I think maybe time is really fluid. I think maybe the past really is merging on our present and our future as well, pulling us forward to that beautiful place where we are loved. That's what it was for me when I had the glimpses of the future. I was being loved, and I was loving. I think that's where the human race has the opportunity to go, to that place in the future where we are loved and loving. When we give and receive nourishment for our souls, and we let go of all of the illusions of the past that hurt, the 9/11s in our personal lives that have created trauma for us and for the whole world. We let it go, and we embrace the love and the loving that is our destiny. I feel that's about all I'm going to say today. I know it's a strange message. I agree. It'll resonate with those that it resonates with, and those that it doesn't resonate with will just have already shut it off, and that's okay too. It is what it is. But is anything what we think it is the question I leave you with. Namaste.